Good evening. The 2022 graduation ceremony will begin shortly with a procession of the graduates. We ask that the audience remain seated during the entire ceremony so that family and friends can see all graduates. We also remind you that picture taking and videotaping must be done from your seat. Please be sure to silence all electronic devices. Thank you for your cooperation, and we will begin in about 2 minutes. Good evening. At this time, we would like to invite the senior band and choir members to come join the choir. Graduates, please turn and face me. Would the audience please stand for the singing of the national anthem, performed by the Sandy High School choirs under the direction of Mr. Alec Chase.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Sandy High School graduating class of 2022. My name is Sarah Dorn, and I am honored to be the principal at Sandy High School. We are here to honor this group of seniors who are ready to leave Sandy High School and continue their quest to achieve their personal and career goals. We would also like to thank the family and friends of the graduates who have supported and encouraged their efforts to reach this moment of celebration. Seniors, can you give them a round of applause? We are so thankful and feel very blessed to be gathered together for this graduation celebration, and also to be gathered in this beautiful building and not outside in the rain. So a big round of applause for that. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Aaron Baer, Superintendent of the Oregon Trail School District.
Hey, thanks for being here. Guys, feels like it's been forever, right? But finally, at last we're here and we get to do this in person. I couldn't be more grateful for the folks that helped put this on. So I would like to introduce our school board real quick, and then you'll hear from our board chair, Mr. Randy Carmody. We have Mr. DJ Anderson. DJ's been on the school board for 123 years. Thank you, DJ. Kurt McKnight. Kurt likes to spray tan, so that's where you can see that there. Yeah. Mrs. Marjan Salvador. Yep, Bob's her husband. And Mrs. Marie Tooney. And Marie Tooney also serves us as a member of Mount Hood Community College's school board. And last but not least, Mr. Randy Carmody.
Move this up a little bit here. Welcome 2022 graduates, parents, and friends. It is an honor to stand before you today, especially following the past couple of years in uncertainty and isolation. I have 3 years worth of speeches I had prepared, so I should be done in an hour or so I hope you have plenty of time this evening. In all honesty, I know you did not come here to listen to me, so I will be brief. It's been 40 years since I graduated from Sandy High School. Over the years, I have come to realize that people who have excelled in their life seem to have a positive attitude. As you step into the next phase of your life's journey, I urge you to take the high road, treat others with respect, and try to look for and focus on the bright spots in your life. Not only will this brighten the day of others, but it will improve your day as well, as kindness is contagious. I understand there can be bad days, but nearly always there are positive moments that happen every day. Focus on these moments. I have noticed that those who focus on the bad things seem to drag themselves down, and if not careful, will find every negative thing in their lives to dwell on. While those who focus on the positive things in their lives build support from family, friends, and coworkers, and spread happiness to those around them. So as you step into the next phase of your life's journey, greet others with a smile and a kind word, and focus on the positive, and I believe you will excel, lead a happier life, and even benefit financially from something as simple as a positive attitude. Congratulations and good luck on the next phase of your journey.
I'm back. So I do want to say I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to share in this moment with you. Sorry you had to stand in the rain for a bit. But the first year we ever did a graduation in a venue like this, it was 104 degrees out and the AC broke. So I took the heat for that one too. So anyway, I'm used to it at this point. But this opportunity to gather with the graduates, the families, the friends, and all those that have made the commitment to grow these fine young people is beyond a blessing. And as they cross the stage today, they will indeed do so with the understanding that tomorrow as they wake, they'll be free to pave a path to success that yesterday they didn't believe was quite possible. We want to make sure that they do that which moves them, that they live with passion and breathe life into the myriad dreams that they will inevitably encounter. We want them to be encouraged by the truth that they have what it takes to move those around them and create a ripple that will begin a tidal wave that will leave in its wake the evidence that they have become a more perfect version of themselves as a result of the efforts that you have helped put into them. And as these young people embark on the next steps of their journey, they'll do so with the foundation that is tried, but not broken, that is shaken, but steady. And every collective experience that has made your relationship with your child special will forever be woven in the fiber of their being. And so as I sit here before us this evening, breathlessly anticipating the next of many steps in their journey, a future that in which every day will be a big day, another day toward that which will prove to be a brilliant story with lived experiences and lessons learned from the pain and pleasure of a life that has had many defining moments. They'll remember, and you'll remember, the stumble and stagger of a toddler learning to walk like dad after a late night on Friday. And there'll be those moments you remember when your children try to better themselves, as moms do every spring, getting ready for wedding season, right? It'll be all the first cry, the first laugh, the first word, first steps, the first fall, trying to steady that bike, the first dance. Your young life has ebbed and flowed. Your musical preference has been up and down. You liked apple juice and Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, energy drinks. And times have changed. And they've changed in a fierce way. So I feel like when we were kids, most of us in here, when we were young adults, watching, people watching was kind of a cool thing. We do that leisurely. We go to a park or a mall, whatever. We do it just to chill. But this generation, I've noticed, just watches people. That's kind of creepy. But I'm just putting that out there, that there's a distinct difference between people watching young folks and watching people. You know what I mean? So be cognizant of that. And now people could clearly, literally watch people all day long doing everything to follow as many people as possible or be followed. And when I was a kid, you got followed, the police got involved, and so I don't know how no one has thought to call the police at this point, but kudos, somehow you have redefined this once dearly held societal norm, and you're way out there in this stratosphere of weirdness, but I applaud you for it. And now, if you don't have at least, you're not following at least 300 people or have at least 1,000 followers, turns out you're the creeper. All right, fair enough. And so I can't tell if this is actually advancing our society, but I do know this, that the way you've redefined life through language has been exceedingly impressive. So the language of the day is extremely abbreviated, and I can't quite figure that out. But the shortest version of the language I've seen in my time, you literally flip the script on the eloquently protracted syntax, the robust, expansive, elegantly verbose, beautiful language that is English, and to put it bluntly, stunting, arresting it, if you will, the growth of, or should I say, cutting the legs off the allure of the language for the brevity appreciated only by those with an affinity for a communication style that cuts clean through the most impressive heights our students are capable of, calling on them to keep it short. So here's what I believe happened. Most of these kids, 13 years, they've been in our system. Majority of them have been influenced by none other than Mr. Salvador. And so I see the connection there. And only he can have this kind of influence on a group of children. So I'm sure that someday these kids will be like, hey, Sal, yo, bro, your class was lit. Straight fire, man. Thanks for keeping it short. If you don't know Mr. Salvador, find him afterwards. You'll understand why keeping it short is funny. Oh, my bad. I think you used the word brief in class, Sal. Is that what you? I think he uses brief. Hey, in closing, parents, there's not a graduate among us that needs to worry about leaving a mark or building a legacy, being the greatest that has ever done something or anything for that matter. Just make sure that they measure themselves not in comparison to others or what they have accomplished, but simply by where they are right now and where they're going to be tomorrow. Be confident that when your children pursue their passions with truth and dream out loud, they can control that which they can and move forward with a life of purpose. Others will speak of their greatness, and they will recognize the legacy that is your family. I don't claim to possess the linguistic dexterity to navigate the minefield that is today's spoken word, but in an attempt to try to communicate directly with our students, here it goes. And it's possible that between the time that I wrote this and it went to print, and right now, the definition of some of these words have changed. And if that's the case, I want to apologize in advance, and do not hold this against me. That's my disclaimer. So kids, as the sun goes down on you for the last time as Sandy High School students, I'd like you to contemplate the following. Hey, live a life that hits different, you know what I'm saying? Make it a melody, a sick beat that slaps, so you can wake up in that lit fit. You got that drip, right? Snatched. Just girl bossing and bougie, right? I mean, like, I don't work for you, you work for me. Thank you, next. You know what I mean? If you could get that, yeah, right? Right, that's really all we want. Not all that extra. Don't be thirsty. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Right, don't. But leave they squad shook, right? and walk up from that sus trash, man. Hey, make sure the world don't sleep on you so you can get that bag, right? Collect your flowers, grab all that cash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you slay the day. All right? And don't worry about these noobs trying to throw shade. They see you rolling, they be hating. But you're next level. Straight fire, just busting. While these fools are out there skating? Come on. I don't know, how was it? I don't know. I tried. Right. Right. So, I really have no idea at all what that means, but I guess IYK, right? If you know, you know. Class of 2022. Okay, there's a shout out. That's the thing. That's what they call it. It's a shout out, right? Class of 2022, keep it 100, point blank, period. You do you. YOLO. Okay. All right, now some adult talk. Hey, it's been an honor and a blessing to have experienced with you these 13 years, and I have no doubt that you will thrive in every moment. And from this class will rise the leaders of a generation that will prove to move the world in a direction of continued hope and endless possibility. Congratulations, class of 2022.
That's a tough act to follow, but I will do my best. It is with great pleasure that we move to the part of the program where we recognize our senior students who have worked hard, given of themselves, and put in effort beyond the normal in order to achieve. These awards represent a true commitment to excellence. The students who earn the second highest grade point average in the class are designated as the salutatorians. This year, we have one recipient who earned a grade point average of 3.98 and also earned a Sandy High School honors diploma. When I call your name, please come to the stage. This year's salutatorian is Brooklyn Starley. The students who earn the highest grade point average in the class, as well as earning an honors diploma, are designated the valedictorians. This year, we have 11 recipients attending tonight's ceremony. When I call your name, please come to the stage. I am pleased to present the valedictorians for the Sandy High School graduating class of 2022. Ashley Ellinger. Cynthia Bautista Gutierrez. Michaela Bogle. Samuel Butler. Katie Focht. Rebecca Harrell. Audrey Cato. Jillian Moore. Will Noel. Gracelyn Thompson. And Taryn Weller. all of our valedictorians will remain on stage, and Rebecca Harrell will deliver the first speech on behalf of the valedictorians.
Welcome, family, friends, staff, and of course the class of 2022. Helen Keller once said, "The struggle of life is one of our greatest blessings. It makes us patient, sensitive, and godlike. It teaches us that although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it." Overcoming obstacles is something we have become experts at. From canceled traditions to global pandemics, we have been through it all. The class of 2022 has become more patient, more sensitive, and more resilient because of the struggles we have faced. I will forever be inspired by my peers who persevered through so many struggles. All of our suffering, all of our mourning has come down to this one moment, but this moment doesn't define our high school experience. The moments we will forever cherish are found in the laughter of our friends, in the encouragement of our mentors, and in the compassion of our peers. The small memories are the most memorable, and while every chapter must end, these moments will forever live in our hearts. As I say my final goodbye, my advice to you is to not take the present for granted. The past 4 years have taught me that life can change in an instant, and everything you have planned can be turned upside down. I encourage you all to live in the present. Cherish the people standing in front of you. The future is never guaranteed, so live every moment like it's your last. Congratulations, class of 2022. May you all live in the present and chase your dreams of the future.
Audrey Cato will deliver the final speech on behalf of the valedictorians.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, administrators, and of course, graduating class of 2022. Yeah! It feels like just yesterday I was buying warm cookies from the cafeteria and getting lost in the breezeways. Now I'm standing here graduating high school with all of you, despite still getting lost in the breezeways last week. Yeah. I think everyone in this room can agree that our high school experience was one of a kind. From in-person learning to online learning to hybrid learning, then back to in-person learning, it's safe to say that we've become well accustomed to the numerous types of learning that this world has to offer. Nonetheless, we persevered, and I'm beyond proud of every single one of us for earning the privilege to walk across this stage today. I'm eager to find out what the future holds for us in this new chapter of our lives. It's amazing to think that this room is full of the next generations of doctors, engineers, pipe fitters, cosmetologists, teachers, musicians, and everything in between. I know that we're all capable of great things no matter what path we choose to create for ourselves. It goes without saying that we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for our amazing teachers and administrators. From Miss Swoboda's classroom turned Edgar Allan Poe tomb to Miss Doss's formula songs that I know we all still remember, our teachers have put their heart and soul into educating their students to the best of their abilities, despite the countless trials they had to endure these past couple years. It takes a remarkable kind of person to ever willingly become a high school teacher, and I'm forever thankful for every one of you. You made navigating high school easier and inspired your students to approach their education with pride and determination. If I were to ask any of you right now, you would probably say that we were robbed of our high school experience. But we did only get 1 year of high school, normal year. But this got me thinking, what do we consider to be a true high school experience? While we immediately associate learning with books and homework, the majority of the things we learn in high school do not come with a lesson plan. Values such as friendship, responsibility, and self-discovery are all achieved during our 4 years here. While we were cut short from sports seasons, concerts, tournaments, and the chance to defeat the freshmen in decades, we have been given the chance to discover what kind of life we want to lead. I am a firm believer that anything is possible. I know that leaving the comfort and familiarity and venturing into the unknown can be a daunting task. But if these past few years have taught us anything, is that we are resilient. We have fought for the ability to face whatever unpredicted curveballs the world decides to throw at us. From life-changing events such as a global pandemic to the smallest inconveniences like waiting in after-school traffic, we can conquer any challenge that comes our way. If you know me at all, you know that I love all things Disney, so who would I be if I didn't end with a quote from none other than Walt Disney himself? He said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." Fellow graduates, it is my greatest hope that we all find the courage to pursue our dreams and make them come true. From one pioneer to another, we got this. I believe in us.
Please give all of our valedictorians one final round of applause as they take their seat. The Sandy High School choirs, under the direction of Mr. Alec Chase, will perform In My Life, one of my favorite songs, written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Please welcome our departing Sandy High School ASB President, Ashley Allinger.
What's up, guys? All right. As the class of 2022 sits before me, I see and feel a lot of emotions. I look out to you all and see nothing short of a bright future. We've all gone through such unimaginable circumstances and were forced to grow up quite quickly. However, our response to these demands were very mature and beneficial for us all. Over this time, we all started jobs, helped our families, and on top of it all, here we are graduating high school. From the moment I first walked into the school in 2018, what seems like just yesterday, I knew we were going to accomplish so much. Despite all the restrictions and setbacks, I would not want it to be any other way or with any other group. Through my 4 years of leadership, I had a few goals in mind individually, but as a class, we exceeded all that I had hoped for. Our class accomplished so much in the span of just a few years. Some of the greatest highlights I'm sure we can all attest to is, of course, basketball playoffs freshman year, homecoming and winter formal all the years, all the plays and musical, girls basketball finally beating Central Catholic, and of course, football beating Barlow for the first time in 20 years. Through all of these, we learned so much, and most of all, we learned to persevere through the thick and the thin. When times were hard, we collectively helped and learned. Communication played a large role in our last few years as our relationships became more intentional and our time together became very, very scarce. However, we took on the task of isolation and separation with a heavy heart. We valued each other and had a bond even through the screens and the distance. Our class also learned that education goes way beyond a textbook. We learned just as much through our conversations and relationships during high school. We learned about our differences, and then we all can agree that we will never agree 100% of the time. But what comes from this is what will make the difference for all of us with time. The world, our world, what we have grown up in and our kids will grow up in, is full of lots of negatives and hurt. But beneath all of that is a bunch of people, willing to do anything and everything to have a quality community and happiness. Everyone wants this change and wants to make it a better place, but it's going to take a huge push from all of us. We must step back and reflect on what we have learned and apply this to the real world we're about to step into. Your voice and our voices hold so much power. And as our next doctors, dentists, teachers, politicians, and career-seeking people sit in front of me, I see that spark. Our future is in our hands, and if we do it right, we can make ourselves the ideal world. Be willing to speak up, but also be even more willing to listen. As we have learned in the past few years, life loves to throw us some curveballs, so be ready to take a swing. Finally, before I conclude, I would like to give out my thank yous. This class pushed me, challenged me, and believed in me. I learned from you guys day in and day out. Thank you to my grandparents for always being my biggest fans and advocating for me. Thank you to my sisters who sadly had to suffer through not being the favorite child, and of course will live through that forever. But also they continue to have my back even despite the difference we face. Thank you to my mom who drove me around all the years, prays for me day in and day out, and of course spends too much money with me at Target. Lastly, thank you to my dad, my first ever coach, the man who taught me how to throw a ball and made me cry at the dinner table doing math every night. You have had a huge impact on me and who I have become. Each of you individually have influenced me in one way or another, even if you do not know how. So with that, congratulations. Congratulations to the class of 2022, and good luck in all of your future endeavors. I was and am honored to have served for the school and for you guys in such a time as this, but we are not done yet. I'm so proud of you and now and will continue to be proud of you forever. Thank you, class of 2022.
The Sandy High Wind Ensemble and Symphonic Band, under the direction of Mr. Rob McLaughlin, will now perform Cajun folk songs by Frank Ticelli. One more round of applause for our amazing bands. Band and choir members, please return to your seats with the rest of your graduating class. At this time, it is my pleasure to present this year's most outstanding senior. 53 seniors were nominated multiple times this year. Those 53 students were narrowed down to our list of the top 10 finalists. The 10 finalists have been through an intensive evaluation process with a select faculty committee. The finalists submitted extensive applications and were evaluated in 5 areas: academic scholarship, school involvement, community service, and their leadership abilities. Before we announce the winner, I would like to honor all 10 finalists. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name and share a little bit of what makes you so great. Ashley Allinger. Ashley followed the family legacy and was the ASB president this year. She also is a valedictorian candidate, lettered in 3 sports, and participated in several clubs. She plans to play softball and major in exercise science at the University of South Carolina, upstate. Brecken Richardson. After being involved in the FFA group all 4 years, Brecken was voted as the treasurer for the Oregon State FFA governing body. Brecken also participated in cross-country, ski, golf, speech, and debate teams. She will continue to serve as an Oregon FFA state officer before studying agricultural education in college. Brooklyn Starley. Brooklyn is most proud of being voted the volleyball team captain. She has been involved in HOSA and volunteered with the community cleanup and donation drives and charity races. She plans to study psychology and nutrition at Utah State University. Cynthia Bautista Gutierrez. Cynthia was the Oregon State winner in the National Doodle for Google competition her freshman year and has been very involved in the arts and her cultural artistic heritage both in and out of school. She lettered in swim team and water polo. She plans to attend Oregon State University and major in kinesiology. Devin Yoder. Devin joined the speech and debate team senior year and earned a place at the state competition. He participated in Digital Media Club, Drama Club, and the school newspaper. He plans to study accounting. Jillian Moore. Jillian has been the track and field captain and cross-country co-captain this year. She has earned awards for her photography and art. She is attending JROTC Flight Academy in Oklahoma next week, followed by boot camp with the Air National Guard with an ultimate goal of a degree in geography and becoming a pilot. Jessie Nava. Jessie is proudest of her place on the SHS soccer team. She was also the vice president of the DECA Business Club and participated in Pioneer Digital Media and National Honor Society. She plans to study psychology and behavioral health at the University of Portland. Rebecca Tamad. Rebecca has been class president since 7th grade and was ASB vice president this year. She participated in mock trials and volunteers at outdoor school and her church. She plans to attend Portland State University and become an early education teacher. Rebecca Harrell. Her senior year, Rebecca served as the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper. She has been president of the Key Club and volunteered countless hours at her church as a peer tutor and through school activities. She plans to study communications and American Sign Language at Central Washington University and then volunteer with the Peace Corps. Tess Hansen. Tess is most proud of being the cross-country captain her junior year and senior years and having the support of her team. She also lettered in tennis, was a member of several clubs, and the editor-in-chief of the yearbook. She plans to study dental hygiene next year at BYU. All of these students represent what is best about Sandy High and the community in which we live, and they deserve the highest accolades for their accomplishments. These nominees are noteworthy for the breadth of their experience and accomplishment, as well as their desire to lead in ways that best suit their styles and making the world a better, more efficient, safer, or healthier place. Thank you to their families for the wonderful foundations you have given them. The most outstanding senior will receive a $500 scholarship and have their name engraved on the Cliff O'Hara Cup, which is right over here. This year's most outstanding senior, and please call your name if I say your name, for the class of 2022 is Brecken Richardson. Please come forward to receive your award, Brecken. There is no greater honor in my role as principal than seeing you all gathered together one final time this evening. And if you know me, you know I can get a bit teary, so I'm going to do my best. No one can deny that you have faced an unprecedented number of challenges. However, there have also been funny and joyful moments along the way. Entering Sandy High School as a freshman was, I'm sure, exciting and maybe a little scary. You had to find your way around a huge school, build endurance as you climbed the stairs from Water 1 to Mountain 4, and covered over 310,000 square feet each day. That is why everyone has amazing calf muscles who's graduating. There were also many firsts. First Friday night football game, first dance, and who would have known the only decades assembly of your high school experience. But I do hear that you won, but were robbed. Am I right? Sophomore year was the year of the early and never-ending spring break. Junior year brought distance learning, then hybrid learning, and hoping that your friends would be attending on the same days as you. And finally, senior year. We were all back together, messy as it might have been, trying to maintain 6 feet distance whenever possible. We resumed the canned food drive, prom reveal assembly, Dornbecker, prom, and here we are gathered at graduation. Take a moment right now and reflect on all that you have endured and achieved. Look around you, really, look around you right now at your classmates, teachers, family, and friends. We truly are stronger together. When I look at all of you, I see a bright and very hopeful future. Your shared experiences have led each of you to develop resilience, strength, determination, and confidence. As you leave here and continue on your journey, I ask that you remember the words of one of my heroes, Mr. Rogers. We all have different gifts, so we all have different ways of telling the world who we are. What a boring world it would be if we were all the same. Celebrate your differences. Never stop learning, and enjoy the journey. Congratulations, class of 2022. It is now time, possibly close to the moments that you've all been waiting for. It is now time to confer upon the class of 2022 their diplomas. Joining me to present diplomas will be the Superintendent of the Oregon Trail School District, Aaron Baer, and members of the Oregon Trail School District Board. Reading the names of students will be Sandy High School counselors, Kathy Calloway, Lydia Vento, Cindy Sempert, and Lexi Volstek.
Ashley Lydia Allinger. Cynthia Bautista Gutierrez. Michaela Renee Bogle. Samuel Alaric Butler. Katie Schwanchu Fosht. Rebecca Lynn Harrell. Audrey May Cato. Jillian Rebecca Moore. Will Noel. Gracelyn Rose Thompson. Taryn Avery Weller. Brooklyn Victoria Starley. Rebecca Manat Tamad. Paige Ryan Carey.
Ricardo Aguilera. Ethan Matthew Ainsley. Abby Abby Joyce Allison. Aiden Everett Omblad. Matthew Cade Emile. Ava Louise Anderson. William James Anderson III. Preston Michael Archer. Madison Yvonne Aspo. Abigail Caitlin Austin. Connor Lane Autry. Brooklyn Christina Autry. Mateo Oliver Avalos. Riley Page Everett. Nina Wyvonia Avery. Maddox Robert Balasso. Abraham Jaquez Barbie. Bailey J. Barney. Allie Grace Bear. Bryn Isabella Bear. Malaya Jean Biddema. Caden Gage Bithell. Grace Celine Bleesner. Alexandra Pamela Borchers. Alondra Yaelin Boteo Rodriguez. Jackson Taylor Boyles. Abby Mae Bradley. Peyton Elaine Bradley. Michaela Mae Brown. Soraya Lynn Brown. Tasia Malaya Brown. Spencer David Brostek. Lucy Mae Burks. Kimberly Gail Burks. Robert Burton Burns. Autumn Grace Calcum Dunn.
That's my cousin.
Dominic Joshua Camberg. Elijah Paul Caraveo. Garrison C. Carpenter. Anthony Castro. Luis Isaia Castro Chase. Cameron John Centino. Evelyn Grace Crones. Jaden Marie Cherney. Teague Wayne Clemmer. Chloe Jean Cobos. Jeff Cole. Hannah Ariel Cook. Braden J. Cox. Jolene Jean Crane. Lynette Galilea Cruz Dominguez. Alexis Cherie Comeyforth. Ryden William Cunningham. Daniel Zacharias Danzy. Ella Marie Davis. Isabella Renee Davis. Diego de Jesus Rosales. Brandon Aaron Dean. Tate James Deerdorf. Trevor Michael Deal. McKenna Chesney DeMar. Ethan Elias Dodds. Brian Jesus Doroteo Mora. Victor Javier Doroteo Torres. Sinai de Sul Cámara.
Charlotte Ray Fine. Wade Aaron Fisher. Jennifer Lynn Flerschinger. Florencia Flores Lopez. Isaiah Fogus. Aiden Jimmy Francis. Isabella Galoftanu. Sorry. Dallas Casey Jean Gayona. Stacy Garcia Marino. Drew Allen Gehrig. Robert David Gergen. Isaac Russell Ginther. Bailey Rose Goins. Delmi Esmeralda Gonzalez. Garrett William Ryan Graff. Caleb Patrick Granger Petrillo. Liam Christopher Greenhall. Ezekiel Joseph Gregory. Devin Sebastian Guido. Brian Jean Hall. David Christopher Hall. Emma Marie Hall. Danner James Hamburg. Colby Glenn Hankel. Tess Hansen. Ava Lorraine Hardy. Caleb Andrew Hawks. Maya Renee Hawkins. Henry Oliver Hayward. Kai Christian Hazelbaker. Charlie Helgerson. Persephone Henderson. Griffin Hendricks. Justin James Hickey. Trinity Renee Hildebrand. Sydney Grace Hill. Tyler J. Holowati. Annabella Elivna Hood. Ethan Sonny Howard LaJoy. Carolyn Grace Hunt. Haley Grace Huntsman. Hannah Renee Husbands. Cheyenne Marie Hutchinson. Kylie Malia Griffin Jimerson. Ian Joel Johansson. Kate Lynn Johnston. Hunter Matthew Jones. Spencer Glenn Jones. Zach Michael Jones. Caden Michael Keller. Brooklyn Alexandria Kelly. Mackenzie Ray Kinney. Trevor Jaden Klein. Carson Robert Kreckman. Grace Michelle Kula. Angelica Jean Kuntz. Logan James Lawson. Patrick Martin Lemmer. Madison Rose Littlejohn. Haley Time Littlepage. Amelia Vladimirovna Litvinova. Shelby Loeb. Jack Patrick Logan. Ellie Rose Lowry. Ethan Wayne Lucour. Jesus Adrian Luna. Aiden Matthew Lundervold.
Diego Martinez. Elias Anthony Martinez. Diana Martinez. Chloe Louisa Latte Madison. Macy Jeanette Mall. Haley May McCord. Jaden Mason McGinley. JC Ray McGuire. Grace Marie McNutt. Ashley Nicole Michow. Aiden Dean Melcher. Ana Samantha Menchaca Olivas. Dago Mendoza Zurita. Avery Marie Myers. Issa Ann Miller. Brianna Catherine Moore. Rebecca Rebecca Candelaria Moreno Rodriguez. Cassidy Sophia Morrison. Bridget Leilani Mudliar. Carver James Muse. Cassidy Jolie Nail. Jesse Nava. Wyatt Lee Nelson. Bailey Jane Newell. Wesley Newman. Annika Faye Noreen. Chloe Shea O'May. Lionel Andres Olmos. Andrew Dean Olson. Marcos Orozco. Xander Benhail Ortega. Tristan Ortiz. Rolando Pacheco Tello. Kira Lynn Patterson. Ruby Kathleen Paulson. Dionisio Adrian Paz Morgan. Elena Piazza Alton. Michael Dennis Platts. Nathan Ezra Powell. Rhiannon Powell. Vera Rochelle Prophet. Olivia Ramirez. Armando Ramirez Paz. Ethan Grant Reyes. Brecken Elaine Richardson. Rudy Wiley Robles. Elijah James Rogers. Kayleen Marie Rogers. Natalie Kathleen Rogers. Siska Elizabeth Ross Popma. Sarah Rayanne Ruth. Jackson Thomas Rowley. Ian Paul Gordon Russell. Cassandra Jean Ryle. Tatum Alexa Rigg.
Andrew Josiah Zane Sandstrom. Sam Suss. Taylor Evan Schucker. Oh, Schecker. Nakaya Marie Skippers. Henry Robert Shutt. Parker Sharman. Lindsay Nicole Shoup. Orion Ezekiel Simon. Skylar J. Siverly. Desiree Delphia Smith. Emily Faith Smith. Melissa Ann Smith. Simon Aaron Smith. Elizabeth May Soderquist. Sitlali Yamilet Soto. Sydney Rochelle Spar. Cade La Spites. Jason Donovan Steele. Wyatt Evan Stephenson. Jessica Lynn Stone. Nathaniel James Soot. Colby Brian Tatro. Angel Tello. Dylan James Thompson. Sabrina Gotong Tao. Bailey Renee Traxel. Elizabeth Joy Tracy. Benjamin William Allen Traver. Mason Lane Tumbaga. Ashton Hunter Turin. Benjamin William Vick. Inanna Moon Bugnild. Milo Elizabeth Vulgus. Joseph David Wagner. Catherine Marie Walker. Andrew Jeremiah Wallman. Keegan William Webb. Julia Lynn Wise. Lindsay Dawn Wells. Landon Scott Wesley. Anna Kaylin Williams. Sydney Wren Willis. Angel Anna Winton. Megan Wright. Gavin Laconius Yates. Devin Michael Yoder. Santana Batista. Lauren Christiana Kemona Mayton. Brandon James Peterson. Robert Douglas Reeder.
I don't think that's enough applause for this class. It is now my pleasure to introduce the senior class advisors, Kristen Sinclair and Anna Gruey, who will present this outstanding class.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the graduates. Please stand and face the audience. Graduates, please move your tassel from the left to the right.
Families and guests, we are honored to present to you the graduated class of 2022. Okay, you can toss your caps, toss.
Please take your seats. We will get caps back to the original owners. Maybe. I would just like to give one more huge round of applause and celebration to this year's Sandy High School class of 2022. Families and guests, thank you once again for coming tonight and for supporting our Sandy graduates as they take the next big step in their journeys. We ask that you please stay seated until all of the graduates leave the auditorium and drive home safely.
you.